Welcome to the fight game. He's Icewater. I'm Puma. And we're going to talk a little bit about pound for pound, the latest list that came out for pound, and whether you agree with it or not. Still waiting for comments about your top 10 heavyweights. So we're not letting you off the hook with that. We got our list together. We decided to prolong it one more week to get your comments and your opinions on the top 10 heavyweights of all time. So we're going to go and talk a little bit about the pound for pound. I'm going to go by ESPN's list, pound for pound. And so, Icewater, you have your own list. Let's go with yours first.
All right, this is gonna be hard. I should go from 10, 10 up. 10 up. 10, number 10, just because of inactivity, Shakur Stevenson. Right? I know it's not because of how good he is or anything like that, but inactivity, Shakur Stevenson. Number 9 is Javante Tank Davis, right? Inactivity. Number 8, I'm gonna go with Better Be. Better Be is showed me something. And I don't know if I move him out real quick, but he's definitely in the hunt. Particularly if this next big fight comes up, he has a chance to really move up even further. Number 7, despite you may hate him or whatever, he gonna show y'all what time it is, and he did survive Tyson Fury. He did survive, so that is what it is. Number 6 is Bivol. Bivol has looked good. He got to be Canelo, still making moves. He has a big fight perhaps coming up, one of the fights we want to see there. Number 5 is Usyk. I know everybody wants to put Usyk like number 2. Man, you beat Joshua when he was on medication or whatever the hell it was. But you about to fight the real one now, though. We're gonna find out. And if you make it and you win, then I'll put you up in the top 3. But right now, you need to sit at 5 because I ain't buying it just yet. Number 4, just because Canelo Alvarez, right? We don't know what you're gonna do in May. You know you're gonna fight on Cinco de Mayo. I hope it's somebody that we care about, or at least somebody that we care about in September. Number 3 for me is Devin Haney. Devin Haney's won a lot of fights, despite you may like him and him ballooning up to 190. I'm just kidding, but he'll get stronger and doing whatever. But he's been impressive in the ring, so he's my third best. Number 2 is Terrence Crawford. A lot of people think Terrence Crawford is number 1. Terrence Crawford has been very impressive. He beat Errol Spence, right? And we're just kind of waiting. I need another one though, champ. I need another one. And number 1, just because he's been clearing out the way, and they say he's gonna keep moving up, which I hope he does, is the monster. Anyway, it's like I started out at 112. I'm at 118. I go 22. Get that man over there from Washington, D.C. with the same names. He can get it at 122, maybe 126. So he just keep rising and he stays active. So right now, the monster right now is the guy for me. I do need to see him against somebody though, because we're running out of time and space and excuses. So you keep telling me you're not that big, but all of a sudden you go from now we at 118. We can't get to 22. We can't get to 26. That's all I'm saying. I ain't asking 30. I ain't say 30. We can't get to 22. Gary Russell Jr. a little bit, 26. Older Gary Russell Jr. I can't get none of that. That's all I'm saying. Why not? You a young dude. Donaire's done, bruh. Can we get a little 22, 26? Gary Russell Jr.? Work with me.
It's interesting that you put Terrence Crawford at number 2 because I just heard another fighter, I think Telefano Lopez, point out something I never really think about. He said he wants to fight Crawford, and he has no bones about it. And he's on the list I'm going to read is from ESPN. It's not my own personal list. But he said Terrence Crawford kind of caught fighters when they were hurt or with some kind of injury. And the big fight that he kind of caught these guys at a good time where it makes him look dominant. And he said, "I ain't got nothing wrong with me. Let's get this going." So that when he said that, I'm like, "Whoa!" I really had to think about it because a lot of the fighters that we thought that okay, these are guys that can really give him a fight. They all had some kind of injury or coming off an injury, things of that sort. and they were ripe for the picking. Not to say he's not a great fighter and that he doesn't have skills, but when Lopez said that, it just made you think. So I'm not going off my own list, but I'm going to put out the list and then let's talk about the comparisons and contrast to your own list. And I'm getting this list. I usually get from Yahoo, but I'm going with ESPN's list because I think it's very interesting. At number 10, they took previously ranked number 6 fighter Tyson Fury and put him at number 10. A lot of people said it was a split decision, 10 rounds. I think that Francis and Ngannou, I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing his name wrong. Ngannou really took it to him, and I think he won that fight. So I think other people saw that too, and like he can't be in the upper echelons of the top 10. Gervonta Davis, who has changed his name, and we'll start calling him by the name he chose, a Muslim name. But Tank is at number 9. He was previously at number 10, but number 9. Your play son, Shakir Stevenson, ESPN ranks at number 8. He was previously ranked at number 9. He's a lightweight champion and had a unanimous decision against Edwin De La Santos and didn't really look impressive in that fight. Didn't really dominate. I think he was afraid of that power of Santos. So, but he just kind of stayed away, just one round by round by round, and got out of there. Devin Haney, who was ranked number 8, moves up to number 7 with a 31-0 record, 15 knockouts, and he had a really impressive win against Regis Prograis on December 9th. Then you have a guy who just fought recently, Arthur Beterbiev, who was at number 7, moves up to the number 6 spot. And then you have Bivol. And just hearing some boxing news that Bivol and Beterbiev have agreed to fight, and that will be the next fight. That's the fight that we want to see. All right. And so Bivol is steady at the number 5 spot, Beterbiev at number 6. Canelo Alvarez, he never seems to get to the top, and he always stays in that mid range, but he's at number 4. And he had a unanimous decision against Jermell Charlo September 30th. And so we don't know of his next fight. Also, at number 3, you have Usyk. So that little man that Tyson Fury talks about is at number 3, and he's staying at number 3. And him and Tyson Fury will fight on February 17th. At number 2, ESPN ranks the monster, and Gayu in Inoue at number 2. And I always wanted to put him at number 1, but after what I saw with Terrence Crawford did to Spence, who I thought was one of the best fighters ever in the world, Terrence Crawford at number 1, and he doesn't have a fight coming up. There are rumors and talks about fight. I think Telefino Lopez wants to fight him, and he's calling him out. But Terrence Crawford has been kind of in limbo at this particular point. In the years past, look at some of the past shows. I never put Terrence Crawford I put him in the top 3, but never number 1. I think he's earned that spot at number 1, beating Earl Spence Jr., despite what Lopez said about catching him with, eye condition and all that other stuff. And so, yeah, I got to put Terrence Crawford until somebody beats him at the number 1 spot. But I would love to, and there are other writers that ESPN put switch Terrence Crawford and the Monster, and I wouldn't have a problem with that because the Monster is just a dominating fighter, and every fight I see him in, he scares me. That little dude scares me. The way he just walks through punches and just delivers some of the most punishing punches that I've seen in boxing for a very, very long time. Thoughts about that list, man?
Yeah, you try to put Usyk up there, man. I mean, I that's up. That's how they putting him up real close. Put him at 3. It's amazing, though. One of the top heavyweights, the bigger fellas, they won't put him up there. But as soon as you get a dude that's a former cruiserweight, can move around a little bit, he's exciting and be the big guy. He ended up at number 3.
Yeah, he's
As
number
a,
3.
as,
You don't
as
see
a top
guys like
as a
Parker.
heavyweight.
Yeah, you don't see guys like Parker,
No.
Joseph Parker, who was a champion. You don't see Wilder was on this list for the longest time. Didn't really look good in the last fight. Got put off the list. There's some honorable mention that they have here with the pound for pound with Telefino Lopez, Lomachenko. They got Spence, um, Jaron Ennis. They got Navarrete, Emmanuel Navarrete, and David Benavidez. Those are fighters that received votes, but not even in the fighters that received votes. You have Parker, you have Wilder. They're not in there. They don't speak of them.
Yeah, maybe because they don't respect the heavyweight division from that standpoint. Because um, I don't. I mean, when you the way that Wilder and Fury banged for 3 fights, and not neither one of them, particularly Fury, could get a sniff when he was supposed to be on fire to break that top five is amazing to me. I just don't know that the fighters are just that much better or having better careers. When you be one of the toughest dudes in your division, that trilogy is going to be something they talk about for years. But yet, not good enough to break a top five, pound for pound. And the one thing we know is this is based on opinion, right? So you love who you love, but it'd be nice to have these experts let some new folks break through. Like I said, how many years did we have to go through the or even the months, should I say, to make it better, sound better? Triple G just because. Triple G. He's in inactivity. Triple G. Turning 99 years old and gets demolished by Canelo, and we still love him. Come on, bro. But I don't know. I mean, I get it, but I'm with you. The monster will definitely call for it. But I think part of this right now is we're kind of going off the last thing that we saw. We need to see these fights. We need to see better fights, and I think that's where we're at right now. We need to see some more good fights so we can put this pound for pound in perspective. We need to see some good fights in 2024.
You had a question for the folks out there, and I'm gonna let you ask that question right now about fights they want to see. So take it over.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. We want to know. I mean, I was going to put at 1 or 2, but you know what? We got a little time. Let's do 4 or 5 fights right now that we think are must see fights for people. One that are realistic, and maybe two. I mean, one. These are two the stipulations. One, they must be realistic, right? We don't want to see nothing crazy that you can't possibly see. The second point is some fights that maybe other people are not thinking about right now. And that's what we're going to say. So you want to go back and forth, or we can just go all the way down, whatever you want to do. You name one, I name one. We're going to see what happens if that works for you.
Yeah, that definitely works for me because I know we talked about it last year about fights that we want to see, and there were some fights that people have been talking about and signing up for, and hopefully those fights are nothing happens where they're canceled or they take another um, a turn for fighting lesser fighters. I don't want to use that term of lesser fighters, but not the competition that they should be fighting. I know Ryan Garcia decided to fight somebody else other than Devin Haney. I thought that would have been a fight that I would like to see, but I guess I kind of feel that Ryan Garcia's camp said, you know what, let's go back over and get the little fish first before we go after the big fish and get you a championship belt so you can kind of have something that people want to say, you know what, he deserves a shot because a champion against a champion. But yeah, I think we need a list from the audience out there. Put it out on our social media, like what fights do you want to see? I want to see a number of fights. Um, I'm not gonna back down from this. Better be and Canelo Alvarez. I want to see them make that fight happen. I want to see them make that fight happen. I know some folks say that's not realistic, but if he can go and fight Bivol, he can go fight a Better Beef. And I would like to see that fight after the Bivol and Better Beef fight. If Better Beef wins, Canelo step up, and have it in September. I know you're gonna fight in May, but have another one in September. Let's get it on because I think this guy is a monster, and I don't know if I've seen Canelo Alvarez fight another fighter that has the punch that Better Beef has.
Yeah, wow, that's different there. Why are you trying to get that man hurt?
I just want to see if Carnelo is the guy that his fans say he is, then he shouldn't be running around and avoiding anybody. He should not take the playbook from Floyd Mayweather because he hasn't built that legacy yet. So build a legacy and fight the best fighters. If that's who you are, go fight the best fighters. Climb up those
Wow.
ranks, go to the different belts, do whatever you were doing before. But he was fighting guys that we never heard of in these different weight classes. Here is a fighter that can really kind of bring it to you. So if you are who you say you are, let's get it going.
175, 175, bro, all day. And somebody with heavy hands at 175.
Come down 168. Both of you come down. You come up, he comes down. 168. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
But look, I'm gonna say one that better be ain't coming no damn 168.
Hey, what,
Look,
7 pounds?
he could probably barely make 175.
7 pounds? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Shave the hair off your head. Whatever you gotta do, man. Get this thing going. Get this thing going. All right. Take a big dump. I don't care how it works. Just get it done. Get it done.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw one at you. You kind of said it earlier, but now that I think about it, I like to see that fight. Particularly if the rematch is not gonna happen with Errol Spence Jr. But with the situation with his eye detached retina. Let's go move up to 154. Or would that be 154? Or no,
Well, I
no, that
know
would be.
I know Telefino Stevenson wants to fight at 147. He doesn't want to go to 154 because
Oh
he's
yeah, yeah, okay,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Right,
if
I'm trying.
Terrence want to
I'm
stay at
thinking.
147, Telefino Lopez Jr. is waiting there for you.
Right, so I stand corrected. I kept thinking somebody else, but yeah, that's the fight I want to see. I want to see Lopez versus Crawford, 147. Um, I think because Crawford mentioned 154, but if you saying that you really 147, when you make that one jump to 154, you're not coming back down. You don't want to fight Errol Spence Jr. They're saying at 154, right? You want to stay at 147. Tim Fimo is a lot of things, and when he's right, right, I think that'd be a very well calculated fight. I think it's a lot of pay per views, a lot of tickets. It'd be a good technical fight between guys with different styles, and the boxer and how's Terrence Crawford gonna come out against this guy that was phenomenal the last time he fought. Teofimo Lopez was phenomenal and put on the show. I'd like to see that fight.
I would also like to see Boots Ennis against Terrence Crawford. Let's get that going. Let's get it going. Let's do it. Let's do it. Boots Ennis is talking. He wants to fight the best of the best. Let's get it going. Let's do it. I think that's a realistic fight that can happen. If Spence doesn't happen, Boots Ennis. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't think Crawford want to acknowledge him like that. I don't think Crawford thinks that he's worthwhile. And it's like he said, it's all about the paper now. Boots is upcoming, and not saying it can't happen. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I won't want to see it either. But Crawford's like, look, I might be on my way out. Why am I gonna throw you a bone? I need to make some real money. So that Canelo Alvarez and and Crawford would be lovely, but I know that's kind of far fetched. But another fight I like to see is we're gonna keep Boots Ennis there. And I heard this the other day, and I was like, but I think it fits because one guy is trying to really prove that he's a superstar coming into his own. He's getting bigger, and the other guy is like trying to prove that I'm ready for a big time shot. So let's go Boots Ennis versus Devin Haney at 147.
That may work.
Yes, sir. Yeah, because Devin at 170, bro, right now. I'm just saying, I ain't been standing next to him at the gym, but I mean, he like,
Yeah,
I
puffed
mean,
up.
dude,
Puffed up. Yeah.
yeah, and Progress was like, look, man, this dude 190 up in here, bro. So Progress was already crying before he got into the ring. So with that being said, I like to see the skill set of Boots Ennis, who's a champion, tough guy from Philadelphia, fight Devin Haney. They both are very calculated fighters. I'd love to see that fight. It either be turned to a boxing match or one hell of a fight.
All right. My last one is I know they're not in the top 10 pound for pound, but this fight has to happen this year. And I keep saying it. Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder has to happen this year. I don't know how they're going to get it off, but it has to happen this year. We've been talking about this fight for years. They've been circling each other. They've been avoiding each other. Circumstances have prevented them from fighting, but that fight needs to happen. I know we're getting the fight that we want to see with Usyk and Fury, but Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder got to get it on at some particular point, and it has to be this year.
No doubt. I'm gonna throw some quick hitters at y'all before. I know y'all gonna say, "Oh, he's just going off," but I'm gonna go some quick hitters. This is bonus coverage. Bonus coverage from the fight game. You're only gonna get it here one time, so listen very closely. Bonus coverage. Other fights you want to look into. We mentioned about Ennis versus Haney. Also, just because to make Puma mad, Tim Tszyu, Jamel Charlo. Just because to make Puma mad. I know y'all doubting Jamel Charlo. Y'all say he's beating up on women, allegedly, all kind of stuff. His career's over. He need a comeback fight. What better way than to get back on Puma's bad side than to come in and take care of the methodical moving type Tim Tszyu? I want to see that fight. Another quick hitter coming off of that too. I want to see stick with Tszyu. There's another man that mentioned that he's kind of moving up the ranks, tired of waiting on 147. I want to see Virgil Ortiz versus Tim Tszyu at 154. I think that'd be a hell of a fight. Virgil Ortiz is not playing around. He's not waiting on no boots in his. Maybe you fight me in 5 years. He wants to smoke, and he wanted fast. I like just Virgil Ortiz. He don't care coming through. Tim Tszyu would be a good fight for him. Keep moving real quick. Another just because it makes sense, and maybe they got me on the entertainment side, and maybe a slap here and there make me want to watch it. Damn it! I want to see Caleb Plant and Jamal Charlo. You don't slap me in no arena. You talk about wrestling move at the finest. You selling all kind of tickets just because you put your hands on me. You got to get that man back, bro. Jamal, you won your last fight. You fought Benavidez's brother. You got to go and put that man in the ring. You want to make some money? Go on in there and fight, bro.
I got one that's entertainment, maybe, but it's a grudge match.
Go ahead.
Between your boy from Cincinnati and another fighter from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I want Adrian Bronner and Floyd Mayweather. It's a grudge match. Let's settle. Let's settle all this. Let's settle. I know it's a fantasy. Let's settle. You don't think that would make money with the talk between those two going back and forth, talking trash? That would make big time money. So Floyd, quit fighting these guys we don't know and going to Japan and all that stuff. You and Adrian Bronner get in the ring and settle this grudge. And after you have this fight, y'all hug it out, and y'all gonna be good after this fight. But let's give me that one fight. That's like entertainment, exhibition, whatever. I want a grudge match between those two.
Man, look, why you always trying to make the hilarious brothers fight, man? Why you always trying to make the dudes that give you the most entertainment for their buck fight? I mean, I'm sitting there going like, I don't want to see, because I like both of them. You know what? I would be okay with just hearing them talk about what they could do. You ain't got to fight.
Yeah, it's going to be entertainment. It's going to be entertainment.
Just let me hear you talk about them old stories and what you used to mean. You remember you and your daddy used to sleep on my floor and all that other stuff. You know, I want to hear those stories. I agree with you. It would be amazing from that standpoint. Another fight I do want to see. I know I'm throwing Virgil Ortiz out there a lot, Junior. Virgil Ortiz versus Lubin.
Yeah, that would be a decent fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. And last but not least, just because I became a new fan, I didn't know how good he was. He gave us all, and that's enough for me. I need an underdog fight, okay? Where it's on the line, two guys struggling a little bit, but they know the one that loses, it could be it. Not for your career, but for you making real money, right? So I'm talking Caleb Plant versus Demetrius Andre.
Hmm.
all on the line. Winner take all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Winner take all. I think that would be a great fight for both of those guys. Demetrius Andre has said that he wanted to show the world that he's back. He came back, kind of bit off a little more than he could chew, right? At a heavier weight. I'd like to see him, be love to see him against Caleb Plant. So Caleb Plant, I'm giving you a shot, bro. And Liam Smith, bro, it was rough for you, but anybody else on that level that you can fight, I'm with you. You just ran into a monster. But I think these are a few fights that we can look into, and man, we need to see a few of these in 2024.
Yeah. I got to mention UFC 297 last week. The three cards that I saw most of the cards, but there were three cards that really stood out. Neil Magny defeats Mike Millett in a third round TKO with punches. You had Pennington, Raquel Pennington, and Myra Bueno Silva. I was putting my money on Silva, but she just ran out of gas and couldn't really kind of compete in the last few rounds. Silva loses a unanimous decision, like 40, 49, 46, 49, 46, and 49, 45. But the big fight, which was set up last year with the fight in the audience with Duplessis and Strickland, some people will probably say, "Oh, Duplessis, you look at his face and it's all beat up. It looked like this guy took an L." But when you put the champion on his back like 6 or 7 times in the fight, that's not good for a champion. And it seemed like Strickland did not want to fight in the ground game, and he lost a split decision, 48-47, 47-48, and 48-47. And he took it like a man. But I kind of felt like Strickland was really kind of acting a little odd ever since he won the championship against Israel and didn't know what to do with himself. But he came in and fought kind of like the same plan that he fought with Israel, just kind of calm, you know, contained. But he didn't, to me, do enough to defend his title. Any thoughts on those fights, man?
Yeah, you mentioned about Strickland. This to that standpoint of you want to see a person finish what they started, right? And particularly when you hold belts, you want to see that happen. And not sure really how that works out. One thing I will say that I give MMA credit about, and I love Raquel. I love her spirit. She just you never know what you're gonna get, but she's full of fire. The one thing I do like about the MMA is it is so genuine and real. So even your best fighters, either because they're bored or they take fights they're not really pumped up to, you can lose and it's okay. Unlike boxing, you can lose. So we saw all kind of folks. We saw Israel lose, comes back and fights, no big deal, right? We saw the Lioness, you know, lose and come back. I like that sport from that standpoint. So you can not be afraid to take a chance and test yourself to see how great you are. We need to see Israel back if that's what he wants to do. I'm glad he's taking a long rest though, because in the past he was just seemed like he was on a cash run, really went up to it. Maybe he'll come back and give us something real. And then my guy, he can be 235. My favorite fighter coming up at the once he gets healed at heavyweight. I love to see him fight again, and I want him to fight. Tell you the fight I really want to see, and you can call it entertainment or whatever. I want to see him in the ring with Daniel Cormier. I just do again.
Except
Yes,
for a good time. For
I'll
a good
pay
time.
I'll pay per view money to watch Daniel Cormier make another excuse up. Why he lost.
Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. I think he's comfortable behind the mic, and I don't know. But there is a rivalry with Zanze and Plessis, who wants him out. Called him out at the end of the fight, like, "Hey, I want this guy. It's a rivalry. Come on out of retirement. Let's get this going." And so that just may be enough to get Zanze out of retirement and make a big money fight later on this year. You'll never know. You'll never know. But hopefully that comes out. Strickland, he wants to run it back. But if you come back and run it back the same way you fought the last fight, don't waste your time, bro. Don't waste your time. It was very obvious you did not want to be on the ground, and this guy was, he was throwing kicks, He was putting you down on your back, and that's not a good look for a champion. Not a good look. Any other boxing news or fighting news?
Nope. Hopefully we'll get something soon because I cannot wait for Fury and Usyk. I cannot wait.
The little man, ranked number 3, pound for pound. He's Icewater, I'm Puma, and this is a fight day.